I just quit my 9-to-5 job to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, so welcome to part one of everything that I will be carrying in my backpack. I love watching these videos of other people, so I thought that it would be super fun to document what I'm carrying at the beginning of the trail. So part one is going to start with the basics, starting with my backpack. This is the REI Flash 55. I have had this for quite a while now, and I love it. I would not say I'm an ultralight hiker at all, but I like to stay as light as I can be within budget, so this was a good compromise. It weighs 2 pounds and 11 ounces. Obviously it's empty, but this is what it looks like on. To go along with the backpack, I have two small accessories to protect it from rain. The first is this clear pack liner. This is basically going to be the first thing I put in my backpack, and then I put everything else inside the pack liner so that when it rains, everything is protected. And then this is another thing that's for the purpose of keeping my pack dry if it rains. This is the Sea to Summit Ultra Sil pack cover in size medium. So if it does rain, I can pull this out basically as a shell to cover the outside of my pack. So literally everything will stay dry. So next up is the trekking poles. These are the Cascade Mountain Tech. This is what they look like. You can obviously adjust their height. These are pretty standard. I also have about 10 feet of duct tape that I'm just using the trekking poles to store just for any repairs or literally anything you would ever need duct tape for. Okay, so the next thing is something that I'm actually not gonna carry. This is my tent. We're using a different stuff sack for this one. It's actually not Nemo, it's a Z-Packs. It's the triplex tent, and we just like the way it rolls up better in this stuff sack. It's made out of Dyneema, and it's very expensive, but it's super lightweight, and it's a 3-person tent because we find that 2-person tents just have enough room for 2 people to lay down and that's it. So we like having a 3-person tent so that you can have a little bit of space to put your stuff inside the tent. The other thing that we have in here is our footprint. It's a piece of Tyvek. Because of how lightweight it is, we're just going to use this as the footprint below our tent. It's going to protect the bottom of our tent and our sleeping pad from getting potentially torn or roughed up. The reason it's so light is because there are actually no poles. You stake it out on the ground and then you use your trekking poles to actually stand the tent up. These are the stakes that go with. We just got some Miscellaneous stakes from REI. We have a few of these taller ones, and then we have a few of these smaller, lighter ones just to save some weight. So next up, I'm going to get into my sleeping system. So the first thing obviously is the sleeping bag, and this is my sleeping bag. I love it. I've already used it a few times and it's so comfy and warm. This is the Big Agnes Greystone, and it is a 20-degree bag. So I think this will be perfect, especially when we go through some of the colder parts of trail. And then next up is my sleeping pad. This is not the right stuff sack for it because I wanted it shaped this way, and the stuff sack made it much more short and stout. This is the Xpad Ultra 3R Duo, and this is actually a double sleeping pad because when you are a couple, it is just so much nicer to not have that gap in the middle of your 2 sleeping pads. So this is a huge luxury item for the both of us. Now I'm remembering that I forgot to say that Terry also has a Big Agnes sleeping bag, and his is the male version, so it zips together with mine. So between the double sleeping pad and the zip together sleeping bags, I think we're gonna be sleeping beautifully. We've already tested out the whole system and we love it. The sleeping pad also comes with this pump bag, which you basically use to pump air into the pad, and it's much nicer than pumping it up with your mouth. So the last thing in the sleep system is a bit of a luxury item because it is a pillow, and we originally were not planning on packing pillows, but then we tried these out and we just realized how luxurious it is to have an actual pillow instead of using a bag of your clothes. This is the Sea to Summit Eros down pillow. You blow up most of it and then there's a layer of down on the top, which makes it super, super comfy. And this is what it looks like all blown up. Okay, that's it for part one. Those are all the basic supplies that I'm bringing with me. But if you want to see more, go to part two. I'm going to be talking through my electronics and technology. I just quit my 9-to-5 job to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, so welcome to part two of what I'm going to be carrying with me. I'm going to go through all the electronics that I'm going to be carrying. All of my electronics fit in this random bag that I have. So the first thing I have is a Nightcore headlamp. I wanted something that was super light but still super functional. I believe there's like 3 light settings and then there's also a red setting. So it's very small and compact, which I love. I have used this a couple times already and it's pretty good. Next is the portable charger. The brand is Charmast and its capacity is 26,800 mAh. Whatever that means. This will probably give me all the charge I need for about a week. I already put some stickers on it, which I think is so cute with the pink. And then I'm just carrying my AirPods in case I ever want to listen to music, podcasts, or maybe some audiobooks while I'm out there. This is actually not going in that electronics bag, but I'm also going to be carrying a Garmin InReach Mini 2, which looks like this. It is able to ping my location, share that with friends and family. I know that it also can send messages. I actually don't even know how to work this yet because I haven't set it up yet, but that is another day's problem. It also has the ability to call SOS if we're ever in an emergency. The next thing I'm going to be carrying is this thing that you see right here, which is a microphone, because I'm planning to make some TikToks while I'm out there. So I wanted to have nicer audio quality, but I didn't want to carry anything huge. So this is literally the size of AirPods, and the microphones, it comes with 2, are super tiny. This is my first time trying it out, so we'll see what the audio sounds like. The next thing I have is earplugs. So these are the Loop Dream earplugs. They are specifically made for sleeping. I'm really gonna rely on these earplugs to tune out the creepy noises while I'm out there, because I have a feeling that sleeping is going to be difficult when we first get out there, because I'm just gonna listen to all the crazy noises, and so earplugs are a must. So then the rest of this bag is just miscellaneous chargers. I have one for my iPhones, a USB-C to USB-C. Then I have another USB-C. Obviously I have a plug for when we're in town. I can charge everything. And then I have a charger for my watch. My headlamp is the only thing that needs a USB-C Mini. Then the other thing I'm gonna have with me is my Garmin watch. It's a Garmin Forerunner and I just got it a few months ago and I love it. I'm not really gonna log my workouts while I'm out there. I'm mostly gonna use this for time telling. Okay, I think that's everything I'm bringing for electronics and technology, so stay tuned for part 3. I think in part 3 I'm gonna go through some of the miscellaneous things that don't really fit in any categories. Bye! Alright, welcome to part 3 of everything I'm carrying in my backpack to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Part 3 I'm gonna go through some of the miscellaneous things that don't really go in any of the categories. First is an ice axe. This will be carrying from the start, and it's mostly going to be important for any time we're in snowy conditions, especially in the Sierras. Primary reason to carry this is for emergencies only, if you trip and fall and need to catch yourself. Truthfully, I have not used this yet. We were hoping to practice with these this year, but it's been kind of a weird winter in terms of snow, so we haven't gotten to yet. But we will need to learn as soon as we can because it's very important to know how to use one of these. The next thing is a bit of a luxury item. This is a sit pad. Terry convinced me that we need these, and honestly, I'm pretty happy about it because I just think it's going to be really nice when we're stopping for lunch or hanging out at camp at the end of the night, just to have something a little bit softer to sit on. It's super lightweight and compacts super small, so I couldn't really argue it. The next thing is another thing that I'm actually not going to be carrying. Terry is going to be carrying this, but it is a mini deck of cards. This will be really fun when we're bored and need something to do. The last thing that I would consider miscellaneous is my wallet. So I got this cute little wallet I actually got it at a little boutique in Cape Cod. I know that some people just put things in a Ziploc bag, but I wanted something cuter. And here I'm just gonna be carrying my cards, my driver's license, some cash, and then my PCT permit. I think that those are all of the miscellaneous things that I'm bringing. So for part 4, I think I'm gonna go through food and water supplies. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. Hi, my name is Natalie. I just quit my 9-to-5 job to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Welcome to part 4. For part 4, I'm going to go through food and water accessories. So the first thing is a spoon. This is the Toiletries titanium. This, as far as I know, is pretty standard for backpackers. The long spoon really helps you get into your pot. The titanium is super easy to clean and super lightweight, so I would say this is definitely a standard for most backpackers. And then the next thing I have is my pot. So I have this Toiletries titanium 750 milliliter pot, but these pots are not super fuel efficient. So what I will be doing is bringing my food to a boil, and then I'll be transferring it in to the koozie and putting the lid on so that it can finish cooking, and then it can hold the heat longer without wasting all that fuel. I made another video on how I made this, so if you're interested in learning how to do this, go watch my other video. I use my pot to store everything else cooking related since it's all this extra space in my bag. The first thing I have is this Clorox handy wipe. This I'm going to be using to clean my pot and my spoon. I have a second one in here that I'll probably use to dry random things off, but these are super lightweight and they dry really fast, so I love them. For dish soap, I just have a little thing of Dr. Bronner's. For my stove, I have an MSR Pocket Rocket 2. It folds up so incredibly small, which is why I love it. Essentially, you screw a little small fuel canister onto the bottom of this, and then you put the pot on top and then cook all your food. I love jet boils, but I love this system just for how small and lightweight it is. Then the last thing I have is this little MSR igniter. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but I, for some reason, am so bad at using real lighters, and I struggle so hard to get them to light. So I decided that to get this igniter, you just press in this button, you turn the gas on, and then you use the igniter to start the flame. The next thing I have is a dry bag for food. We're gonna get all of our food once we get to California, so maybe I'll make a little video about what I'm eating out there. But this is what I'll be carrying my food in for the beginning of trail. But then once we reach the Sierras, I will have a bear canister. This is so bears can't get into my food. And as you can see, I decorated it with a ton of stickers already. Last thing that goes along with my food is just a gallon Ziploc bag. This is what I'm going to be using to carry all my trash. Now I'm going to get into what I'm doing for water. So I am going to be using the Sawyer Squeeze water filter. I've used this every other time I've gone backpacking, and I love this system because it screws perfectly onto a smart water bottle. Smart water bottles just are really good quality and don't get gross and crinkled as fast. You designate one of the bottles as a dirty water bottle, and you fill this one with water, and then you open the cap here and squeeze it into your clean water bottle. There's going to be some areas where water is not as easy to come by, so I'm going to also be carrying a water bladder. This is a CNOC 2 liters. I also have a coupler so that this can pair with the Sawyer Squeeze. So that's everything I have right now for food and water supplies. Thanks for watching, and go to the next video for part 5, which is going to be everything that I wear for footwear. Yes, we will be going to the bathroom out there for peeing, not to touch any of the you-know-what, and also because it's dirty. Okay, I think I'm on to part 5, but welcome to everything I'm bringing on the Pacific Crest Trail. Part 5, I thought I would go through my bathroom system because this is something that a lot of people are curious about. Yes, we will be going to the bathroom out there. The first thing I have is for peeing. This is a Kula cloth, which essentially is just a pee cloth, but on the inside here is what you use to wipe, which is an antimicrobial fabric, and then on the outside is just a cute little pattern, and then you fold it up and you hang it from the outside of your backpack. So super accessible while you're walking. You don't have to reach into your backpack to get this, and also because it's dirty. The next item is for number 2. I'm going to be carrying the Deuce number 1 ultralight trowels, less than half an ounce, so small and light. This is just to dig the hole, not to touch any of the you-know-what. Obviously, then I'm carrying a hand sanitizer, and within this bag, I'm going to put a bunch of toilet paper and that will be my little bathroom bag. Go to the next video for part 5, which is going to be everything that I wear for footwear. Bye, thanks for watching. Welcome to part 6 of what I'm carrying in my backpack to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Part 6 is everything that I'm going to wear on my feet because there actually is kind of a lot. Obviously, first are my hiking shoes. So these are the Ultra Lone Peak 8s. I tried these on at REI and I really liked the way they fit. You might be wondering why I'm not wearing hiking boots. Most thru hikers wear trail runners because they are so much lighter. And if you think about it, if you're walking every single day, what do you want to be wearing? Boots or shoes? There's zero drop, which means that there isn't any lift on your heel. I have never walked extensive lengths in these, so I'll be very interested to see how I end up liking these. There's a little piece of Velcro on the back of the Ultras, which I love because I can Velcro my gaiters onto the back of the shoe. Since I won't be wearing boots, the purpose of gaiters is essentially to keep dirt and debris outside of the shoe. The next thing I'm bringing for my feet is camp shoes. I am using these Tevas. It'll be nice to have a sandal to just let my feet air out. So these will be a perfect shoe to just slip on while I'm walking around camp and in the mornings and when I'm in town and don't want to be wearing my trail runners. The next piece of footwear I have is crampons. These go around your shoe and the spikes go on the bottom of the shoe. This is for walking in snow and ice to give us more traction. And we definitely will be encountering some snow and ice out there, so we need to carry these. Last piece of footwear is obviously socks, so I'm actually kind of bringing a lot of socks. These are Injinji toe liners. These are a really thin sock that goes in between all of your toes. So one way on trail that people typically prevent blisters is called Leukotape, which is sort of like moleskin. And a few years ago, I used Leukotape and I had a bad allergic reaction to it. So I was looking up alternatives. And one of the things I stumbled upon is these toe liners. It prevents a lot of the rubbing between toes that cause blisters. I have 3 pairs of these. Hi, this is Natalie from the future popping in. I forgot to mention that because I had an allergic reaction to Leukotape, I am considering bringing physical therapy tape as an alternative solution to prevent blisters. So I've actually been testing this out on my ankle to see if I have an allergic reaction to this adhesive. And so far so good. So I'll probably be bringing some of this along. Then I also have 3 pairs of Darn Tough wool socks. I would say that Darn Toughs are one of the most popular pairs of hiking socks. I have used these a whole bunch. What makes Darn Tough so great is that they have a lifetime warranty. So when these get worn out, we can go to a local outfitter and trade these out for a brand new pair. And I just think that's amazing. That's all my footwear supplies in part 6. I'm gonna go through my toiletries and first aid kit. Hi, welcome to, I think, part 6 of everything I'm carrying with me on the Pacific Crest Trail. Part 6 is all about toiletries and first aid. I'm carrying all my toiletries and first aid in this Sea to Summit 3-liter stuff sack. I feel like toiletries aren't as interesting as some of the other things I went through, so I'm gonna breeze by what I have in here. Vaseline for my lips. I have a little nail file. I'm gonna start by carrying this hairbrush, but I honestly don't know if I need it because I just cut my hair super short. I have a small microfiber towel for washing my face. I have a toothbrush. I'm not one of those people who needs to chop off the bottom of their toothbrush, but I love that this one has the cover for when it's inside my bag. It opens up to give you a handle to hold on to. I'm gonna carry my retainer out there because I really don't want my teeth to shift while I'm out there. Obviously, toothpaste, a little thing of floss. I'm someone who's really prone to acne, so I am really scared about the idea of not having any skincare while I'm out there. So I'm gonna start with a small skincare routine, and if I decide to ditch it at some point, then that's fine, but I really don't mind carrying this extra weight to start with it. I'm gonna carry a little face cleanser. This is a little bottle of my face lotion. I have a little tube of tretinoin. And then sunscreen is gonna be such a must out there. I've never actually tried this one. It's the Neutrogena Sports Face. I have this small little Swiss Army knife, and it's just one of those multi-tool gadgets that has a whole bunch of things. This has nail clippers, tweezers, little scissors, a little knife, and maybe some other things. It's got hair ties and elastics in this bag. And I also have some retainer cleaning tablets. I have permanent retainers in my mouth from when I had braces, so I'm gonna be carrying a few floss threaders. Last but not least in that bag is my first aid kit. I have a bag of assorted pills. I've got some anti-diarrheal pills. I have a little repair kit that came with our sleeping pad, and Terry will be carrying a sewing kit that has a few sewing needles and thread in case we ever need to make some repairs while out there. I have some miscellaneous first aid items. So there is some antibiotic ointment, a burn cream, there's some alcohol prep pads and antiseptic towelettes. And obviously we have a lot of different types of band-aids and blister pads. And I think that's it for the first aid kit. The other thing I'm storing in here is just a little piece that goes with the Sawyer water filter. Obviously our water filter is very important, so we're both carrying 2 extra just in case we accidentally lose them. So that's everything I'm carrying in my first aid kit and toiletries bag. If you want to see what I'm going to wear out there, go to part 7. Hi, welcome to part 7 of everything I'm bringing on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm losing daylight by the second, so I'm going to try to speed run through all the clothes that I'm going to be wearing on trail. I'm actually going to change into all the clothes I have just to show you, but I wanted to show this first. This is a REI branded stuff sack, and this is what I'm going to use to carry the majority of my clothes. This tank top is a sports bra and a tank top, so this is going to be my base layer almost every single day. I wanted something that was a sports bra but also a tank top so that if I'm ever going into town or hanging out around camp, I can just wear this and it's not weird. Next I have shorts. These are from REI. And most days I'm going to be wearing this sun hoodie. The brand of this is Outdoor Research. We're going to be starting the trail in the desert, so it's going to be really important to protect our skin from the sun. This is me realizing this is the first time I've actually put this shirt on. I guess I like it. I don't know. This is going to be my sleeping/town outfit. I think it'll be really nice to have just a comfy outfit to change into when we're done with hiking for the day. This shirt is from Sierra. These shorts are chicken legs. I don't really have any other clothes that have any fun patterns, so I thought that my camp shorts would be the perfect place to pick out this cute Lucky Charms pattern. Okay, the next layers I have are my base layers. So this is a really... I just realized I had the microphone across the room, so if things got really echoey there for a second, I'm so sorry. This is a really warm layer from Nike, and then I just have a pair of black leggings that are for warmth. Also, if you're curious about underwear, I'll be carrying 4 pairs of underwear. The next layer I have is a fleece for warmth. The brand is Mountain Hardwear. I love this. I think it's so cute and so warm. I'm getting sweaty. Also for warmth, I have this buff. It actually has a Pacific Crest Trail pattern on it, and I was so excited when I saw it. I also have these gloves for warmth. These are from Sierra. And I also have this hat for warmth, which is also from Sierra. I forgot to show this while I had all my warm stuff on, but this is a Cotopaxi sun hat. Me and Terry actually have matching ones of these, which I think is going to be so cute. But this is going to be great for the desert and keeping the sun off my face and ears and neck. I also have this bug net. I have actually used this before because I once went on a trip that had the worst mosquitoes ever in my life. I know that the bugs will be really bad in Oregon and Washington. So this is what it looks like. The next thing I have is sunglasses. The brand is Gooder, and I think these are so fun, but I especially love how inexpensive they are. Next layer is raincoat and rain pants. I haven't tested these out in the rain yet, but these are REI brand and they had pretty good reviews, so I have nothing else to say about them. This is the very last piece of clothing that I have. This is a Cotopaxi puffy. Obviously, this will be for when it's very cold. I love this coat. I love the colors. I've had it for maybe a year now. Unless I missed anything, that is everything I'm bringing with me to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. If you're interested in seeing how my hike goes, I am planning on making videos while out there, so please follow if you want to see those. I am just beyond excited to get out there. You're probably going to be seeing this way in the future, but I am leaving officially in 2 days and I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.